My name is Jimmy Lewis. This is Dirt Bike Test, and today we're riding the 2026 Yamaha YZ450F out here at Glen Helen. And this is the presentation, and I didn't even read it because I wanted to tell you what you really want to know, which is how the bike works. And they did make a lot of changes. Probably the most significant one is they're working on reducing the overall sound output of the bike. And with some of the other bikes we've seen, this has really kind of killed the power, and that did not happen on this particular bike. I would say it smoothed the power, which I really liked, but it still has that kind of Yamaha aggressive, you know, meaty power band, especially up into the mid and the top. So where it did tame it a little bit is down in the lower ranges, where it was kind of jerky on the throttle. They've really smoothed that out, and just the whole pull is a lot more progressive and not losing anything on top. If you like listening to your bike, you might notice it's quieter, but the way the bike pulls, especially out here at Glen Helen with these hills, you notice that it's really fast. In fact, I started playing with traction control, and going up the hills, it needed the traction control to go as fast as possible. I'm gonna have to learn how to work with traction control, because down in the flatter turns, I was fighting with a little bit. But besides that, we also tried a more aggressive map, the Travis Preston map, that I didn't necessarily like. We actually put in our map 2 position a smoother, it's called the linear map. It's actually stock in the Power Tuner app. And that was like magical. I thought the stock map was good. That map was even better. And so power-wise, don't worry about it. The bike's fast. If you need more, I think people are going to really screw it up by throwing different mufflers on it, because a freer muffler is going to sound better. I don't think it's going to make the bike faster. I think it'll make it harder to ride. The hydraulic clutch, I almost didn't notice it all day long. It was really good. The pull, initially when you start feeling it, it feels like it might be a little bit heavier, but in use it was great. The engagement, the throw, all that stuff was good. You know, we'll call it the jetting and the crispness of the fuel injection and stuff is just off the chart, unreal. So that's kind of the motor. Onto the suspension, I didn't want to change anything. I just hopped on the bike. We didn't set the sag at first. Then we adjusted the spring. We went and shot photos. I felt like it was a little low, adjusted the spring to the proper ride height, and the bike was just magical. The suspension overall, it has that kind of that Kayaba plushness with really good bottoming resistance. And I don't think I bottomed the suspension out all day. If anything, it's a little bit pitchy compared to some of the other bikes, but I'm also a little bit heavier, so I could be using, I'm probably at the higher end range of the spring, so I could probably go to stiffer springs, but I didn't really want to, other than for the little bit of the pitching, but I just found better lines around a lot of the bumps. The next thing is the handling. And so overall, this bike has a lighter, more playful, more agile feel. And I skipped the 2025 version, so for me, this bike is noticeably lighter and noticeably more flickable, we'll call it. It just responds a lot better to the foot peg inputs. It seems like the steering has lightened up just a little bit. And overall, what really comes into play is just the whole bike as a package. It just seems like everything is cooperating with each other in a way that this bike keeps like an aggressive nature, where a lot of the bikes that have gone to that quieter setting have become, they feel a little bit mellow, or people say they feel slow. I kind of always have liked lap time bikes, and this feels like a lap time bike, but yet at the same time, it feels like if I need to, I can, twist the throttle and haul ass, and and it feels like I'm getting my money's worth out of this motorcycle. So of course, the brakes to me felt, I would say, average, which is average these days is very high. It's really good. I have a problem. I have little teeny tiny hands, and I have a problem with the adjustability on the front. I need to make it a little bit closer to the bar. I had really good control with the rear also. And then as we started riding it more, I noticed that the seat has some grips on it. And sure enough, in the technical presentation, they talk about the ridged seat grips, and it does work. They're actually angled. And I kind of thought there was a couple times where I should have been sliding off the back, and I caught myself. The seat caught me, and it was actually noticeable. And I usually have been complaining a little bit about the seats and kind of the whole ergonomics. I rolled the bars a little bit forward, and other than that, called it good. Another thing that's really noticeable to me is that this bike has become a lot more narrow. This was probably since Yamaha spun the motor around backwards. Everybody's complained about the front of the Yamaha being kind of wide, and now you look at it, it's narrow. They've taken away some of the channels because the airbox is all new, part of that sound dampening stuff that they're doing inside there, but it has allowed them to slim this bike up. And that was a big turnoff for most riders, mostly visual. They didn't seem like after they rode it, they didn't notice it that much, but now there's nothing to complain even visually.
If you liked what you saw in this video, come check us out over at dirtbiketest.com on the webs. We have bike tests, product tests, a lot of fresh dirt, and you can even support us by clicking through our links. Hopefully we'll see you out in the trail.